just opens up your world. It's pretty cool. So I would recommend, if anybody's listening to this that thinks that it's hokiness or whatever, it's not. It can make a difference. It really kind of brings you just more in tune with who you are and with the universe. So it's a good thing.
Hey, I'm Ronja Sakata, founder of the Joy Academy and Queen of Joy. That's how my friends call me. It's so important to me that my life is full of joy and that I enjoy every moment, because I know how fast it could be over. We can do so many things to bring joy in our lives, to create joy, and that's what this podcast is all about. I talk with people and they tell me how they bring joy to their everyday life and how they create a life full of joy. So let's dive right in, and please tell me after the episode what your takeaway is from this talk. We are live! How exciting! I have two wing women with me now, and Darrin will arrive later. I'm here with Andi and Leanne. My name is Ronja, and we want to talk about how to create joy in hard times, in crazy times, and we are happy if you comment and post questions. And I'm in Switzerland, Andi is in California, Leanne is in Canada, Darrin is in Colorado. So we're very international here, and that's what makes me super happy, because I think we are anyway connected on the globe, and we are in this together, and I love to talk to you now with everything we want to talk about. And first, let's do an introduction. Andi, who are you? What do you do? And just talk about what's important to you.
Yes, I'm very excited to be here. Ronja, love talking to you and sharing positive thoughts. And I'm in California. I moved here only 3 years ago. And we've lived here in this beautiful California now, and have enjoyed the sun and enjoyed the beaches, of course. And what I do is, I was a teacher in Switzerland, and now I am teaching German here. I'm teaching children and adults, and I love it. It's incredible. Yes.
Thank you so much. Darrin, you're on. We are now 4 pictures on the screen on Facebook. It worked. That's so cool. As we had this idea only yesterday, I love how we are very spontaneous. Leanne, you're next. Just tell us about your life and where you're at and what you're doing.
Thank you. My name is Leanne Rose Dorish, and I am a trauma mental health counselor that works mostly right now with parents who've had infants in an intensive care unit. So I work mostly online and through social media, sharing people sort of overcome the traumas that can happen when you have a premature baby or an infant in a neonatal unit. And I've been speaking with caregiving groups and hospitals and neonatologists and stuff like that, and it's exciting to share story and help others see how they can go from just surviving to thriving.
Oh, I have goosebumps from surviving to thriving. That's a nice title for our situation now too. Your sound is not constant for me. I don't know if you two have that too. Like, it's sometimes I hear you super clear and sometimes not. Leanne.
All right, I am hearing Darrin quite loudly, so
yeah.
Maybe that's just
interference. We have to figure out the tech stuff.
So you and I, Ronja, are the farthest away from each other, so
yes, that may be the
I think it's better now.
Okay,
Darrin is not having
I'm not making noise now, so I think we're good.
Hello. So what about you, Darrin? Introduce yourself again. Now we're in a different setting, so let's...
That's right. Oh, I'm Darrin Barney, Grand Junction, Colorado. Yeah, I've known both Ronja and Leanne for quite a while now, and grateful for the opportunity to meet and talk with Andi as well. So this is interesting times we're living in, isn't it?
Yeah, this is possible. Like, I don't know, 10 years ago, you would have needed a truck full of equipment to do this. And now it's just a computer and a webcam and the internet. It's just amazing. It really, really is.
Technology is a wonderful thing,
Yeah. We can use everything for good or bad. And this is good. This is good. Possible, like, I don't know, 10 years ago, you would have there is a delay. Do you have Facebook open there, Darrin?
I don't. No, ma'am.
No, ma'am. Somebody does? Because that was now an interesting delay. I think on Facebook there is a little delay. So let's dig in. Darrin and I talked about getting up in the morning and then think about the question, how can I make a difference today? I love this approach. And Andi and I were talking yesterday about similar things. So, Leanne, what's your approach on like getting up and doing the best you can during the day?
Good question, because I currently have a 5-year-old, so sometimes he dictates how my days start. He and I think because we've been on our own for a few weeks now, have just been taking those precious early morning moments and checking in with each other. What do you want to do today? What are we going to get dressed in? And if it's like dress up clothes, we go into the living room and get into dress up clothes. We just really try to bring joy, I think, in every moment, because if I was going to work or if I didn't have him, I would probably be getting up and having a shower and having my breakfast and trying to continue my routine even though I didn't have anywhere to go, like get dressed, right? Get out of pajamas. So I think however your life is and whoever's with you, bringing a routine of some sort, whether it's like talking with your 5-year-old or making sure that everybody has slippers on, or just those little pieces of joy that we can control, I think have been very important for me in the last few weeks.
So you're in a hard situation because your husband is in quarantine, but in your house, or what is the setting?
So he is currently at our home.
Okay.
And luckily my mom and stepdad have invited us, as they would. My mom would have it no other way, into her home. So I have had the last, I would say 4.5 days, my mom to help out, which is why I don't have my son on me currently. Otherwise he'd be in the video too.
Yeah. So thank you for this insight. What about you, Andi? Like your routine in the morning? Do you have one, or are you strict with one? Like in the normal times, in the old times, or now, or like how do you handle that?
Yes. So what I do is in the evening I look at my next day. And I work from home. I used to teach German outside of the home. I used to teach at the adult school, and we have a Saturday school for kids. I used to visit my clients, went to their houses, or they came to my house. So we switched, of course, now online, everybody. And in the last week, there's been a lot of change going on, and I had to work more to make everything happen. So I have to see, like, what's my boys' schedule. I have 2 boys. They're 7 and 11. So I'm checking out, like, what do they need to do for school? When do they get their exercise in? When do they get their screen time? And I have to adapt it with my schedule. So in the evening, I sit together with my older son, who's 11, and he wants to be a part of the planning. It makes him feel better. It makes him feel empowered. It's really nice for us to do this together. So we look at what are they going to do and what am I going to do. And right now, when I'm on talking to you guys, we make sure that they're doing something where they're not going to need my help. My 11-year-old really stepped up. He's really helping me, and he knows that this is an important time where the family sticks together. He's really taking on that role of a babysitter, and he's doing a great job. Where before it was more fighting, but now he can feel the importance for it, and I'm really proud how they're handling the situation. So we're trying just to have a schedule with, work, my work, school work, being together, watch a movie, play games, just like structure the day. And they love playing football, so they're outside in the grass area, do that, so that we just contain or can just, keep a really positive energy together. Kind of like have the work you have in your head and then your physical work and your fun, just mix it up in a good way. That's what we're trying to do.
And you're also in an online business and have the possibility. No, you started an online business. Now you had a physical business, and you had all the wisdom of your online business ready to go now online very quickly. Is that true?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes. Yes.
Awesome.
I've learned so much in the last few years. I've studied everything I could about online businesses, and this is a huge opportunity for me because it just pushes me right into it. And I really feel like I was ready for it, and the clients are really grateful because a lot of them are isolated at home. So I just told my German students this morning, German 1 class, and I said, please tell your friends, please tell family. We're doing just a very low price. Let's just meet together. Let's have fun together. Let's look forward to this every week. So it's been a great experience.
How about you, Darrin? The changes, you can't go online with your business. With your car business, online is not really happening.
No. Actually, we're really fortunate. We've been really blessed, especially today, with a lot of customers dropping off vehicles for us to work on and maintain. It's so important to keep your vehicle driving good, and so customers have been reaching out to us, and it's been great. But something that I find personally that helps me out a lot, though, is starting every day with a purpose. And so I've got my nice little planner here, my high-performance planner that Brandon Bouchard has, and it's just wonderful because when I found that even over the weekend, because I'm still going to work, but with Saturday and Sunday, I got up and I still did my normal morning routine of writing down the things I wanted to accomplish for the day, my goals, the things that I wanted to take care of, and it just helps me to keep me focused and keep me moving forward rather than wallowing in misery of, oh my goodness, what's going to happen, this uncertainty. It's so nice to have things to look forward to, right? So, I mean, it's something that's really kind of silly to a lot of people, but I really want my pilot's license, right? It's a big thing for me. And right now, it's really silly to think about going forward and doing that because of all of this uncertainty, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to do all the stuff online that I can, and I'm going to move forward for that because, let's move forward. Let's try to enjoy life a little bit,
Absolutely.
So.
Yeah, and our dreams are not like going away because of this now. We can work on our dreams, and it can be anything. You can learn to dance now. You can learn even things from scratch now. And because you have more time, not everybody has more time now. Totally get that. But if you are at home, don't tell me you're bored. You have a gift of time, like a box full of time. You can learn to dance. You can learn how to do a split or train for it, and whatever, and learn for the pilot license. My husband is at home learning for his fishing license. He always got a license because he's so experienced, but now they cut this and you have to do the test anyway. So he's like asking, my husband is Japanese, so he's asking me like, what's this and that in German? The questions of the test are kind of tricky. So that's so cool. He's learning that. My girl is learning how to typewrite. She's 9. So let's learn things. Let's have a good time. And I know we can't forget about the hardship if we don't have it in our house. We're so lucky, and we should celebrate that and not forget about the people who have hard times. But it's not helping if we are like frozen at home. What?
Right.
What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I agree. Sorry, Darrin.
No, you're good, Leanne. Go ahead.
I was really encouraged by some of the speakers that I constantly listen to, and they're like, why does this have to stop your dreams? This is the time where if we can't go outside, we can go within, right? We can go inside. And what are some of the things that we never get to do on a regular basis that we're always complaining about? Oh, we don't have time for that, or that takes too much time, and I got to commute, so I might as well just listen to a book. But maybe this time you could read a physical book, that you could take off your shelf, and really finding those beautiful moments that you've been dreaming of to dream, and we have time. And that's one thing that I was taught at Boesen's, with I forget his name now. The physicality guy.
Jean-Louis.
Yep.
So he told us to continue saying, "I have time."
Yeah, that's true. Oh, that was such. Andy, you need that too. He just said, tell yourself in the morning, I have time. Like a mantra. That was so, yeah. I forgot about that. Thank you.
I really like what you said about the dreaming, because I learned from realizing my dream here in California and keep realizing what I want, what I came here for. I know how important the dreaming part is. It's where it all starts, right? So now we have the time to go within, to know what we really want, and to dream and to imagine it, and then to start taking steps towards it. And I really feel with the possibilities that we have online and everything, we're not limited. We can absolutely go for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we can. There's nothing to stop us. That's the best part. I mean, you got time too, right? I mean, that's wonderful. We took the opportunity to, we have a music studio set up in our house, and so I actually took the opportunity on Saturday to work on helping my kids learn to write songs. I mean, they've always been around it, but we actually took the time. We spent 3 hours together just working on strumming chords and trying to figure out how to write a happy song versus a negative song. And it was so much fun to watch these little brains light up. And it's like, oh, wow, if I put my finger here, wow, this is a major chord. I'm like, yes, major makes you feel happy and minor makes you feel sad. I mean, it's just, parts of the canvas. But it was so much fun, though, that we had that time rather than all the distraction of the world. We were forced to be inside. And so we made the most of it. And it was so much fun to watch them be excited about this stuff. And then yesterday afternoon, this was on Saturday, yesterday on Sunday, I could hear we had quiet time in their rooms. And I could hear them both playing their guitars up in their rooms. And I was like, yes, all right, we're getting a bit, This is good. They got to play, so we got to make the most of it. Live with intention, right?
But what do you say, like, I know, Leanne, you moved out of your own house, and you are not like happy situation, but you seem like very balanced and like, in tune with what's happening. Are you worried, or did you work through the worry? Because other people watching could say like, yeah, ha, you for lucky person. I'm not as lucky because of this and that and this, and it's just annoying to listen to you, like joy, and like how can I access the joy if I feel that I can't reach it? It's far away, and just shut up with this joyful talking.
Yeah.
How can we help these people? And Leanne, you can certainly say something about that, just because you're in this situation.
Life is what we make of it,
Yeah, it is. And the word perspective comes to mind right away. I've done a lot of self-growth and perspective shift and realization in my life. So those tools in my past are helping me now tenfold. And because I have a child, if I was down in the dumps, his life would be miserable. And I know that it's a chain reaction when it comes to children, because they're already energetically absorbing the world's energy. They feel the imbalance. They feel the uncertainty. So if I was letting that sit within me, he would have it even 100-fold. So it's a conscious decision for me, like I said, every day to wake up and make decisions that are easier for me, because I personally think that it's harder to be miserable. And some people think it's actually easier to be miserable because there's a lot that can feed into that. I don't watch the news, and I personally
Welcome
don't have
to the
a
club.
news feed. I don't have a news feed on my phone, so I'm not getting that energy. And when I do want to know what's going on, I actually just have to open up my phone and look at Facebook once, or I look at, BBC News once, and I know exactly what's happening. But I can protect myself because I'm going into it knowingly. So for me, finding the joy right now, even though my husband and I are not together, I know that he's safe. And I know that he loves us enough to stay away because we're not sure if he's been infected. And he's healthy and everything's good. So let's just pray and keep that going. And I think he's on here. So hi, Annie. Love you.
Oh.
But we're also realizing that I don't know, like these are times of change, and I think it's bringing the world a little bit more together than we ever imagined we could be. So it comes down to perspective for me, I think. Unless any of you have other insights on what I said.
No, it's exactly that. I remember when we moved here, how hard it was. I told Ronja yesterday about it. It was really tough. First we lived on top of a garage of a friend's house, and then we moved into a tiny place for 2.5 years, had one bathroom for 2.5 years, and really not many square meters to share. And I just had so many low points and so many sleepless nights. But what always helped me was that remembering what I was grateful for. And there is always something you can be grateful for, always. Your situation can be so miserable, but I always found something to be grateful for. And if it was only I was glad and grateful and happy that my kids and my husband were healthy, that I could get up and breathe and go outside and go for a walk. So I think we can be down to nothing, stripped down to nothing. And we are always reminded that we can be grateful, and there's always something to be grateful for.
Yes.
Yes. And gratitude, I've just learned recently, actually surpasses the brainstem. So if we're just saying, oh yeah, this is great, yeah, that's fabulous, whatever, thank you. If we can actually use thanks more often for the self, or I am so grateful for, it goes from just being a headspace down through our whole spinal cord, and it emanates through our body. So gratitude, that's a beautiful point here. That's really cool, because then our body feels it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can feel it immediately. I told Andy yesterday, or I don't remember if it was Darrin, write a list of 100 things you're grateful for, and 100 is a lot. You have to think about basic things you're grateful for, but then you get aware of, wow, and I'm grateful I have this computer. You could have not you could have not a computer, and for your heartbeat and for the water coming out of your tap and everything. And then it's like you can't feel fear and gratitude at the same time. So it's like the best medicine for even, I don't know if you're in for writing a list of gratitude when you're in panic mode, but maybe you can pull yourself out and say stop, and start to think of things you're grateful for.
Well, but actually in panic time is the perfect time to do the gratitude. Honestly.
Yeah, but you have
really
to have the idea. Switching to the idea and then actually doing it. If you manage this, you're good. That's a great thing to do. But let's say we are safe and not in panic mode, and we are just bored, or we're just whatever, and what's this for? Let's inspire different kind of mindsets within the same time. That's so interesting to me. You have the same circumstances and different people, and such different viewpoints of the same situation. That's so amazing to me. Like, we are different, and some people say a delayed flight is the end of the world, and to somebody else, well, I buy a book and read then. So yeah, let's inspire people to do the best in these times, and have these different perspectives from our little group here. And I want to just throw in, I listened to Jesse Itzler. I love Jesse Itzler, the husband of Sarah Blakely. He said today in his private group, it's now a great time to be a great human. Like, look back on this time and see what you've done. Like, be a great human in the little things you can do, and in big things, whatever you're doing, but just be a great human now. I love that. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts about what can I do now? Learn German, Andy. Yeah, learn a language, learn something.
Learn a language, yes, absolutely, yeah.
What can I do if I'm bored at home and I think this is just a freaking joke that I'm trapped at home?
Well, as I mentioned before, I think that this is the big opportunity right now to go within, to actually listen to yourself, because we live in a world, or up to this point we have lived in a world where listening to yourself and going within almost has become completely impossible, because everybody was running around and everybody was busy with their own lives, making money, their kids schedule, and friends and everything. I mean, I know how crazy my life was just before that. So I think when you take this as a big opportunity and you go and listen within, you're never going to be bored. I mean, now you have the great opportunity to get to know you. Who are you? What do you really want? What have you achieved so far in this life? Are you happy? Like, take stock. Are you happy with where you are right now? What would you like to change? How would you like to continue? I mean, that's a huge gift for all of us. So I don't think you can actually be bored. I mean, of course, we can say we're just going to be online, read Facebook, listen to the news, and help our kids with the homework. We can just do that, or we can say this is a huge opportunity and take it as that. And then your life will be enriched. I really feel the big reward personally for myself, for having gone inside and within in the last 5 years. I feel like if you do this work, the reward is so huge, and you live such a much more enriched life.
Holly is commenting, practice self-care. I like that a lot. That's my whole business about in my Joy Academy, in my Joy coaching, is like, do self-care, take care of yourself and of your needs. And that can also mean that you say no when you mean no, and say yes when you mean yes. Don't compromise too much and live the life of others. And that's, again, the same with what you are saying, Andy. Like, what do I want? And then go for that. For me, that's also self-care. To be aware what's good for me and what do I don't want. And Holly, maybe you have some more suggestions we can learn from you too, because self-care is very personal too. Like, what is... Leanne, go ahead.
Sorry, may I interject? Just this morning, I put a post on social media about basic self-care, because some people who might be and are in that essence of fear and like, this is ridiculous, maybe even anger, can forget that basic self-care is sleeping, eating healthily for your own body, and breathing. I used to work with elders and in our First Nations community, and they would say food and water, shelter, and Band-Aids. If they didn't have the first aid for the hurts that were physical, if they didn't have an idea of where their next meal was coming from, and if they didn't know where they were sleeping that night, nothing else could be figured out in their mind. And so if we are very trapped in the frustration and the uncertainty, going back to basics could be a starting point. Figure out how much sleep you get in the night and all that kind of stuff, so that, you know, you can maybe help your body physically so that it can help your mental game within all of this.
Yeah, I like that. Start at the basic, and then as soon as you feel comfortable or safe enough, you can think of dreams. You just need a paper and a pen, and then you can say, okay, that's not what I want. What do I want? But first, like having food and sleep, that's very, very important. Holly just wrote that I started a new yoga routine. I like that. That's my goal, to do yoga every morning in my living room, and you can go on YouTube. My favorite personal trainer, she comes to my living room every morning from America. Adrian Lewis, so her channel is Yoga with Adrian. I just love her, and you will find your personal favorite trainer of any kind of sport, and he or she will come to your living room for free on YouTube. So that's so cool. Darrin, what is your
I really like
insight?
Meditation, and I know that, you know, Ronja, you and I talked about this yesterday, but I use a thing called the 6-phase meditation, and it goes through and helps you when you don't know how to go inside and think about things you're grateful for, and think about compassion and all these, you know, your perfect day versus your 3-year plan, all of those things. And the 6-day meditation goes through all of those phases for you. And it's a 20-minute meditation. I do it every morning, and I just love it because it really walks you through compassion, and it walks you through all of the things that are so important for us as our growth, and for us as human beings, and how to connect with others. It walks us, I don't know, it just, for me, it was a big aha moment. One of those things in life that changed me, because I really was able to fine-tune my meditation and figuring out how to really focus in on praying to God. That's one of the 6 things, you know, whether your God is the universe or whatever your personal thing is, it, you know, walks you through how to connect to the greater being, to whatever that may be for you. But I can't recommend it enough, because it was just so wonderful to me. Everything just fit and clicked.
And where can people find this? Where is it?
Just type in the 6-phase meditation.
Okay.
And it's by Mind Valley. Vision Lakiani is the one who does it, but if you type it into Google, you'll find it. And they have a great free app that you can download too, and that's what I use, because you can change the ambient noise in the background. So if you want to be by the ocean, you can do that. If you want to be by a fire, you can change that, and you can control that level. And so everything just kind of, it's very user friendly. And there's all kinds of different meditations that they have too. But that one, once again, I've just been using it, and it really speaks to me, because right now, especially with this uncertainty that we're all going through, it walks through how to think about in 3 years, what would your perfect life be like? And for me, I have it. I mean, and this morning, as I woke up and this uncertainty is all around me, and I'm going into this business, and I don't know if we have enough work to keep everybody busy and all these things, and I'm going, oh my goodness. And then I just do this meditation, and I'm like, it's okay. Got this. It's all going to work out. It's okay. Trust. You know, and
absolutely.
So
we talked about trust a lot yesterday, and it's so cool, you know, how we 4 came together. It feels like we know each other for such a long time, but I met Leanne today the first time. I know Andy since high school, and I met Darrin last year. It's so perfect that we are now here together to talk about this, and the words and like trust. Yeah, absolutely. It's just perfect too.
And Darrin, it just really resonated when you said, you know, you're looking forward in what you're going to be, or where you're going to be in 3 years. I remember exactly how this dream of mine started, you know, moving to California. My husband and I were traveling here for 2 weeks, and with our kids were still really little. It was 2014, and we just fell in love with the area here. So one night we're sitting in the jacuzzi, and it was, you know, California under the stars. It was really romantic. We're sitting with a glass of champagne in the jacuzzi. We're talking about what do we want. And we said, you know, we really want to move here. And the joy that came with that was just so great. It was so immense. And we went back to Switzerland because our vacation was over. And that's what carried me through this time. Because as Ronja mentioned yesterday in our interview, it wasn't like, oh, we said we're going to move and the next day we moved. No, that was a preparation time. It actually took us 3 years until everything worked out, because we first moved and then we moved back because we ran out of money, and it was a whole thing. But what a very wise woman told me back then was, just keep connected to the joy. Stay connected with the joy. Think of where you want to be and visualize it. I was visualizing the palm trees, the blue sky, the mountains I love. I love the brown mountains and the blue sky and the contrast. And I was thinking about that every day. I had pictures up on my wall, and that joy brought me closer to my dream every day. So everybody can do that today. Where do I want to be? What you just said. You can print out pictures for you. You can hang them up. You know, you do the board, Ronja, with your with so many people, and that's exactly it. But connect inside with the feeling of joy, and you will get there. You don't know how, and you don't have to know how. Like for me, it was really like one baby step after the next. But that's a really cool way to go about it.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Thanks for sharing that with us.
Darrin Scott is asking, is this the meditation app Omvana? Is it that? Okay, perfect.
Yep.
Perfect.
Yeah. Omvana, yep.
And if anybody has a question or a suggestion, please post it to the comments. Leanne,
Ronja, I want to talk about this really quick.
Yeah.
So anybody that's listening that's a guy, and that maybe the macho guy, I mean, that's where I come from, right? I mean, we work on vehicles, you know. It will change your life if you give it a chance. It really will. I always heard people talk about meditation, and I wasn't raised in a family that meditated. And it's like, what, I'm going to sit on a big pillow and, you know, and chant to myself? And it's like, and then once you actually try it, though, just opens up your world. It's pretty cool. So I would recommend, if anybody's listening to this that thinks that it's hokiness or whatever, it's not. It can make a difference. It really kind of brings you just more in tune with who you are and with the universe. So it's a good thing. But.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and with my clients, one of the tools, because everyone's like, well, when I meditate, I can't do it. I can't just sit there and have a blank mind, right? And honestly, I don't know anyone outside of, like, maybe even above gurus or monks that can do that, because we are still living in a busy world. Even now, with self-isolation, there's a lot that we generally need to think of: finances, kids, food, all these things. So one technique that I use with my clients is, whichever you like more, bubbles or clouds, when you're sitting, whether with eyes open or closed, imagine the thoughts that come in that are in your mind intrusive to a meditation. Put them in or on that bubble or cloud and let them just go sort of out. They're not going away, because they will be there as soon as you're done your meditation. But it gives you a little bit of distance and a little bit of sense of freedom from them, if only for a few minutes. And then if they keep coming back, just keep sending them out on the cloud. But it's a practice, right? It's something that needs to be practiced and allow and given space. So Scott, sorry, I just noticed Scott saying, I've used the Headspace app for meditation before, which is also quite good. And then he gave the link. So
yeah,
cool.
There's so many apps and so many styles. You know, I am a big fan of guided meditations. It's like story time, and you can imagine yourself something. So at the moment, every day at 6 in the morning in Switzerland, I do a meditation with my Choice My Compass group in Swiss German, and I would love to do English versions too, but because of the time zones, that's not so easy, because I really like to start off the day with meditating and doing yoga. And I always imagine a golden bubble, you know, like growing roots into the ground and then pulling up a golden energy and fill up your body, and also really imagine your body is functioning so good, you know.
That's not so easy, because I really...
Where is the sound coming from? like imagining your health, like your body is working perfectly, every cell is working perfectly. That's a big impact on your body too. Your mind is so so important. Your thoughts are important. So guided meditations or sending your thoughts away, just sitting and being with you is so soothing.
Yeah, and I think for meditation, for me, it's also me and a higher power. Whether in that moment I'm connecting with the grass I'm sitting on, trees covered in snow outside, or even just my own house that's giving me protection. There's a sense of greater within me, and I do believe in God, and yet I know that it's all around me. So in any given moment, because some people fear the being alone with the self, and so you can just kind of shift it that way where, okay, well, I'm just going to concentrate on the stuff on the outside, but be quiet for myself on the inside. And yeah, do other people have techniques like that, or what do you guys do?
I do guided meditations also. Like I do Ronja's meditation, and you mentioned you like to get up with a meditation. For me, it's 10 o'clock in the evening when it's 6 o'clock in the morning for you. And for me, it's nice to end the day like that. It's for me nice to go to sleep being full of gold and bubble myself up, and it's very nice to do that too. But I do love guided meditations, as you all just said. Somebody is talking about something, and you follow your breathing, or you think of something like that. That helps me more than just sitting quietly, as you just mentioned.
Mm-hmm. I once did a Zen meditation in Japan in a monastery, and it was beautiful, and that was the first time. And then I don't know if you guys know that they have a technique to hit you on the back with it's kind of a wooden plate. It's very flat and it doesn't hurt like a stick. It's just like it keeps, or it hits your thoughts away. And I thought, well, I want to do that. I want to have the whole experience. So you can like go like this if you want to get hit by the monk. And he was such a majestic guy, and the whole experience was just beautiful. And I tell you, but that was cool. the first and only time I did this Zen meditation. You have a certain type of looking down. You don't have your eyes closed, a little open, and really try to not have a thought. And that's so hard for me. So I was like, okay. And it's like 3 times, like bam, 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 with this plate. And it was such a beautiful space. I was deeply touched, because I'm so in love with Japan. It was really a big spiritual experience. But I wouldn't be able to do the Zen meditation at home. No chance. No, I can't say no chance. But yeah, I'm into having an adventure. Guided meditations is like, yeah, I can go places and get some insights.
And I also have a different practice that I do, and I know Ronja knows about that. I climb up, I go inside and I climb up some stairs, and I have this fire pit where I meet my guides. So I sit around the fire pit and I, ask for my guides, and, people believe about inner guides, or if you want to say it's your inner voice or whatever it is, it's something inside of you or your higher self, whatever you want to call it, that you can talk to them, and you can talk to yourself. So I climb up the stairs and we're sitting around the fire pit. And what I do is either I ask a question, I share a concern, I share something that I need an answer for, and either I wait until I receive something or I get a symbol for it. So I ask for advice, and then I would get a little box with a little symbol in it. It could be a key, it could be a feather, it could be anything, it could be a pen. And so then afterwards, when I come back out of the meditation, I look up, what does it mean? What does this stand for? I Google it, I think about it, and that's how I receive my answers. So I really like that, because it helps you to connect with yourself on a different level.
Neat. That's cool. I like that.
Yeah, that's cool. That's great.
I think just the belief that you are not alone anytime, and trust in life, in nature, if whatever thought path you have, if you manage to trust that something or somebody is taking care of you. But I know some people, that's just not the truth for them. I grew up in a Christian Protestant church kind of setting, and it was very natural. And my mother always said, you can trust, you're taken care of. And this feeling is so big, always. But if you don't have that,
I think about if somebody feels like, really, I do not believe in any kind of higher wisdom or higher power. I think what you can believe right now is we're all connected. Like, this situation right now shows more than ever how connected we are. How this affects us all right now, what's going on, shows that every single being on this earth is connected. So together, just to believe, if you don't really want to or feel like you can believe in a higher power, to believe in mankind and believe in the goodness of us, and to believe that the connection we all have, we're going to get each other out of this. Together we can do it. That you can even do without a religious background or any kind of religious or spiritual belief. And I think that's a big opportunity in the crisis we are right now, that we need to say, and that makes us feel so strong. We together can do this, all of us. We're all connected, and we together can do this. And we started this talk out like that. It's about little things that we show appreciation, we show love, we care, we show compassion. It's what the Dalai Lama says all along. Now we can really put it into work.
Yes. And I'm reminded of a quote from Teresa, actually, about how she said, this kind of work to help, and I'm not going to quote her directly, please. But she said the work that needs to be done in the world needs to start at home. It needs to start right where we are. And this is like the opportunity, right? Because some of us might not get along with people who we have to live with. And that's going to be challenging. Being able to see just a glimmer of an option, and like you're saying, we are one because we're sharing these germs. We're closer than we think, and it's a powerful time right now, definitely.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. How are you guys sort of staying connected with people? What are you guys doing to have different conversations besides the ones that you have within your home?
Darrin, you go.
I do a lot of FaceTime calls and just phone calls, honestly. Text messages are okay, but there's just not the same connection that you get when you can actually hear a voice. You know, I mean, and it's so important to stay connected. Just yesterday, my mom's been stuck in her house for 2 weeks, and so just yesterday we shared our church service with her. We actually had her on FaceTime, and we set her up on the couch, and she was a part of everything. And it was just cool to be able to involve my mom in all of this, because she's lonely, she doesn't have anybody to talk to. And so just all it took was a simple push a button, and we're all connected just like we're doing right now. I mean, that's how we have to do it. In these times like this where we're not supposed to have contact, nobody says we can't have contact with electronically.
Right. And I honestly have to say, for me, not so much has changed. Of course, here I don't see my mom friends, or I can't meet, people outside of the home. But since I moved, I've always stayed connected with Swiss friends and Swiss family over Skype or Zoom or, FaceTime or whatever. And so it's been, for me, like a very similar experience, just to stay connected like that. And I love the voice. Yes, when you hear the voice, that makes all the difference.
Right.
My mother was reading, or she's reading now to my daughter every day in a book they started some weeks ago, and now they continue on FaceTime, and they look at each other, and she's reading this story to Mika, and it's just so beautiful to watch, and they have fun, and I think that's something also Jesse Itzler said in his live stream today. It's a good time to interview your parents and to record it. I love this idea. I wrote an email to my father because he is so full of stories. He knows everything about our family, like ancestors, like really 5 generations back. We have a big family gathering every 5 years, and 1,500 people around the globe we really know who is connected how with whom, because they continue to write down this family tree. So he knows everything about this family tree and about our house. And I really want to. I asked him, "Are you in for an hour per day to just talk and like story time and record it?" I don't know what he's saying, but I think that's a beautiful idea to have a purpose, like connect with your
Awesome.
parents and not just talk, just interview them about their lives. It's so interesting. It's like history lesson also for the kids, like how was that, and why did you do that, or maybe you can ask questions he or she didn't answer up until now. How many times were you in love, or I don't know, maybe. Yeah, but I think that's a really neat idea to do now.
That's cool.
I mean, you think though, I mean, not only recording those things, but also anytime we get a letter. I was just showing my kids yesterday that I had a letter from my grandfather. It was written in 1984. And it was written to me, and it's just cool because he's asking me about different things. He's telling me about the stuff that was going on the ranch. And it's like all these years later, that legacy of him sitting down and writing 15 minutes and then mailing that to me, all these years later, it's still relevant, right? I still have that letter. And to me, it's like the coolest thing. And my kids are like, wow, that's cool, Dad. And it's like sometimes all that takes is for us to take a minute, write a letter, and mail it. Right? When's the last time you got something in the mail? I mean, I get little thank you cards, and it's like the coolest thing because you open it, it's like, oh my goodness, how cool is this? They cared enough to actually write it to me and send it. I mean, rather than text messaging or all the other things, it's like, I love the story stuff too because you can record that and listen to that later.
Yeah, I think writing letters, I have that on my list, but I'm working more than ever before. I needed a virus to get into gear for stepping out, and Darrin, you're helping me. You helped me to like do this. Without you, I wouldn't ask like Andy. We had a chat, the two of us, but like I had to figure out how to add 4 people. That's so cool. But I have one friend. She's always writing letters to everybody, and she has the nicest handwriting, and she chooses the nicest envelopes and stickers. It's just a beautiful thing, and I always keep them because like. There are some letters you don't keep them, but some of them are so precious. And yeah, writing letters now, that's a good thing to do too. If you feel lonely and stuck and bored, just write letters to all your beloved ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, I wonder though if some people will be concerned about that because there's, tactile connection there,
Right.
Or you could write them and then wait until this is over and send them later in the year as Christmas presents or something. So,
or just leave it. Don't touch it for 3 days, and then the terms are not going to be terms anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, isn't that the point? Like 3 days, and then dry conditions are not good for.
It depends on what surface it's on, but I think 3 days should do the job.
Yeah.
Well,
put it in the microwave. So.
Oh, that yes.
Scott has commented, maybe now is a good time to go through family pictures or home movies that nobody ever has time to do.
Yeah, perfect time.
Yeah, and actually,
pictures. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we. I'm helping my mom go through old boxes of stuff because we've moved too many times in our life, and when I was still living with her and afterwards. But a few weeks ago, I went through some of the VHS tapes, videos. Thank you very much, and not even on CD, DVD yet. And some of it was home video.
Oh.
And we threw it in before my husband Scott went on a trip, and it was just really interesting to see. And it was me, almost 5 years old, and I was acting the same way my son Sky's acting, and my husband's like, I wish I would have watched this video first before we had kids.
That's awesome.
She just howled, and I was like, yeah, I guess so. I hadn't remembered that, but...
That's great.
So, and that brings joy too, you know, if you can laugh at these moments and see maybe grandparents you haven't seen since they passed away 22 years ago or something, you know, like it's heartfelt stuff that I think we've been talking towards today. And thank you, honey. That's a good comment.
Yeah, the pictures, I think in digital times we could make a photo book of the last trip or last year or what we're grateful for. Or we thought about going through the attic, and we have one family and their girl is 1.5, or soon in August she's 2, to go through the toys of Mika and choose some cool toys and place them in front of their apartment, you know, and really wash our hands before we sort it out. That's really a point. And then we could lend them to them for this time now. We will do this action. I hope she's not watching, the mother is not watching now, that she get this idea. But like, you know, the kitchen and cool wooden cakes which you can cut into pieces with a wooden knife. And there is this sticky... Was ist Klettverschluss, Andi?
Velcro.
Like in between of the pieces. Yeah, so like we can do cool little actions to bring joy to others, like random act of kindness or very planned.
Or somebody posted something really cool on Facebook. When you go for your walk around the house, you know, if you have chalk at home, write a little nice message for the next person to walk by for them to read. I thought that was really cute too.
Did you see the picture, like, what shall I do for weekend plans, and then the floor plan of your apartment or of your house? Like, oh, I could go to the attic in the weekends. And actually in the attic or wherever you store the things, you can find a lot of treasures as old videotapes or things like that. Mm-hmm. Can we make a closing round of just like your message for people watching? Like, I don't know, whatever comes to your mind, like do this or think about that, or just having a wisdom round for closing up.
I think clearly see this as an opportunity, not as a negative thing. See it as an opportunity. And I know negative things are going to happen, but even before the crisis, negative things happen. So take this whole experience as a huge opportunity and as a gift. That will be my piece of advice.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful.
Thank you.
I like it.
Who wants to go next?
Wisdom round.
Oh, sorry, that's me. Sorry. Because I interrupted so rudely there. I think be good to yourself. Mm-hmm. Allow for that love and acceptance and appreciation to start on the inside, and then it can be given a lot easier outwardly, because a lot of us are, you know, anxious or purposely not trying to listen, or, you know, getting wrapped up in things. And yeah, be good to yourself. That's the only thing coming to my mind.
Thank you. Darrin, what about you?
I would say I agree with everything that's been said so far, and I just think it's important that we look for that inner peace right now in all this turmoil. I mean, the only person that can give that to you is yourself, and from, you know, the great being, whatever it is, the universe, God, whatever it may be to you. We need to find that peace inside and hold on to that, because the world's crazy, and we affect everybody around us, whether we recognize it or not. The stuff we post, the stuff we share, how we communicate affects everyone. So I would just say, you know, stay positive and connect with, you know, yourself and God. So, but
thank you. My very practical advice is, I talked about that with Andy. You mentioned it, Leanne. don't watch the news. It's just you have to stay home, wash your hands, and keep the distance if you go shopping. And other than that, just don't watch it. It's so negative. It makes, I mean, I don't consume news for years now, like mainly, and I'm used to that. But even I get sucked in, like, and the numbers are going up, and it's just not healthy. We are still cavemen and women, and we're not made for this kind of information intake. So cut it off and go to your attic, do something good, write a letter. All we talked about, it's just the better thing to do. Go and meditate and don't watch the news. I would say switch off the TV or put your TV into a cupboard or something, and it has to be really, really annoying to get it out. and cancel the news app on your phone, or really, really do something that you're not so torn into this news. And I am also kicking out Facebook friends or muting Facebook friends who just post panic stuff. I can't handle it. I'm not made for that. So meditating, be good for yourself, and make this time. You can make this time the best time, and like a legendary memory for your kids, like having fun games and grow together as a family. It's maybe not easy, but you really can do that. You've got this. We are here for you. You can pose any questions after we're going off here, and we can comment, and you can ask directly us four or as a group. We are still in touch with this live, and thank you so much for watching. Andy from California, and Leanne from Canada, and Darrin from Canada, and me from Switzerland. I just love this international connection. It's just so beautiful. Thank you so much. And Darrin, that's your fault that we were here now. Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye bye.
So thank you.
Bye bye.
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 If you liked this episode, I look forward to a review from you, and it would be so nice to hear from you what you liked best and what is your takeaway, and maybe it sparked some idea. You really are surprised to have this idea now, and you can go and create joy for your life. And please tell me about it. I would love to hear from you. My contact details, you will find them in the show notes. Have a wonderful day!